Okay. Let's go back. Start. Semua dah balik ke?
Ada.
Ada doktor. Setia menunggu.
Setia menunggu. Okay, so this is where we left out. Okay, so sample done. All right, types of data. So these are the basic type of the data you need to know lah. Okay, ini memang kena tahu lah bila you start doing your survey or you will come across this. So there are three basic types of data. Okay, nominal, ordinal, ratio, made up of categorical data. How often, example, how often do you study research method? Daily, weekly, monthly. So dia ada kategori dah. Okay, daily ke, weekly ke, monthly ke, okay, hourly ke. Alright. Ordinal reflects ranking. Okay, what grade did you score in the research method subject? The ranking. Ordinal means they are ranking. Another example, in a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rank your happiness in your ATM? So that is ordinal. Ratio, made up of numerical data. What marks did you score? Okay, ini markah, itulah the number itself. Okay, this is straightforward. All right, this is another why we need some what do you say, a descriptive survey or descriptive analysis. Also, point number 2, also serves as a direct source of valuable knowledge concerning human behavior. Okay, so descriptive is to find out what you need to know first. Okay, what do you need to know? Because you have to argue, walaupun your survey is only 150, but if the descriptive analysis on the survey is good, then it's fine. Because let's say you get, you want to study pegawai kerajaan tadi, kita ambil pegawai kerajaan. So dalam descriptive analysis, you boleh tanya dia orang, grade dia orang berapa, what scheme are they doing. So if they are of a management scheme, that shows that the respondents that you give, the 150 respondents that you get is betul. That means it's genuine and it comes from a high rank officers. Okay, that means it shows. That means betul lah. You have a good sample. Okay, so that is why descriptive is very, very important. Nature, okay, ni semua boleh baca lah. Okay, what is variable pula? Okay, so once we start talking about descriptive analysis, we also need to highlight about variable juga. Okay, so variable is any factor that can have effect on the experiment. Independent variable, dependent variable, what is being changed, apa yang berubah. Dependent, what is being tested, measured. Okay, contohnya losing weight. Okay, that is dependent variables. But you nak tahu what are the independent variables yang menyebabkan saya lose weight. And what is the control variable? These things are things that you keep in the same and do not change. Control variable dalam losing weight is contohnya macam age. So you control, that means you don't care if the age is they are old ke young ke, but you keep them at this place. Okay, so how do you look? Okay, so dependent variable which you predict. Okay, dependent, you predict this. Okay, or you look at the outcome. Independent are variables on which the dependent depends on them. Contohnya, exercise, fasting, and eating less causes losing weight. Okay, so losing weight itu satu dependent variable. And independent variable ialah losing exercise, puasa, and eating less. So we want to show that gabungan all these independent variable will cause the dependent variable untuk berubah. Okay. A variable in a research is simply refers to a person, place, thing, or phenomenon that you are trying to measure. Example of a dependent variable is depression symptom, which depends on the independent variable type or therapy. Okay, so based on the therapy, okay, independent, we can say that the depression symptom. Okay, example, let's say dia pergi untuk terapi 1, 2, 3, maka depression level dia akan turun. So we can say depression itu ialah satu dependent variable. It depends on the independent variable. Okay. In the experiment pula, the researcher is looking for the possible effect of the dependent variable that might be caused by changing the independent variable. Okay, eksperimen berbeza. Contohnya macam jika banyak, if you exercise more, adakah you akan lose weight more? Jika you puasa banyak, adakah you akan lose weight more? Jika you eat less more, then adakah you akan lose weight? Okay, so eating, fasting, and exercising are independent variable, and your dependent variable is losing weight. Okay, so classification of variables or classification of data ada kat sini. So we have two types of secara besar lah, kata. We have categorical and numerical, qualitative and quantitative. Okay, so the more information comes from quantitative because you're talking about numbers. Categorical and continuous. So these are the big classification. So kalau categorical, we normally use categorical dalam qualitative study. And quantitative, we use continuous data. Categorical variable, political party. Sebab kenapa categorical variable ni berada dalam qualitative? Because there is no answer for it. Political party, tak ada jawapan yang betul. There is no numbers which can say that there is no numbers we can derive that. There is no number, tak ada number kat situ. Kalau you tengok continuous, heart rate ada number. Heart rate dia, it means something. Kalau heart rate dia 90, maksud dia something. Kalau heart rate 45, maksud dia something. Age, something. 30, muda. 50, tua. Number of bacterial colonies. Bacterial ni. Maksudnya saya ambil ni sebab saya nak padankan dengan example COVID-19 lah. Jumlah bakteria kat situ. Berapa bakteria kat situ. So ada numbers kat situ. There's numbers. Kalau categorical, parti politik. Ya betul, kalau kita tanya jumlah parti politik di Malaysia, betul lah. Adalah beberapa parti kan. But if you ask a person, what is his political party? There is no number he can say, saya sokong ini sebab nombor dia 10. Tak ada. He or she can just say, yes, saya sokong sini, saya sokong ini. Itu je. He cannot say, saya sokong ni sebab dia markah dia 10/10. Dia boleh cakap lah, saya sokong ni sebab hilang kepercayaan. Ada kaitan dengan seperti apa. Did your memory improve? Yes or no? Itu saja. There is no numbers for it. Which gene was expressed? That means gene ni saya ambil contoh kalau macam in the study of biology lah, saya tengok dalam YouTube they do study of biology, so they want to see kalau budak-budak bayi ni dia lebih kepada mak atau ayah dia. Okay, so they want to see which genes are more applicable lah dalam sains tu. So categorical data ni, there is no numbers which can represent it. Okay, there is no numbers. Kalau continuous data, there are numbers. Okay, heart rate, age, heart rate, age, lepas tu what else? The number of times you cycle per week. Okay, there's numbers for it. Okay? Political party. Or maybe you ask, are you are you still hungry? Okay, questions like that. Yes, the answer is either yes or no, but there is no numbers. You say, yes, I'm hungry, number 10. Itu dapat sangat tu. Okay, but we don't say that. Okay, unless you change the question. In a scale of 1 to 10, how hungry are you? Itu adalah ya. But when you say, how hungry are you don't say, I'm hungry 10. No, I'm hungry 1. Okay, I'm just hungry. Yeah. Okay, there is no numbers which can define those things. Okay, so the difference between independent and dependent variable. Another example is independent, the variable that is changed amount of water. So dependent ialah kita nak tengok pokok tu tumbuh ke tak lah. Okay, so pokok tu tumbuh based on the size, number of leaves, or living on it. So this is how we determine the plant. Okay, the plant is determined by the size, the number, and living. Okay, so ada student saya daripada semester lepas tanya saya ni, what do I mean? What does it mean by this? What does it mean by this? Dalam example ni, apa bukan maksud size of plant, number of leaves, living or dead? So this refers to actually the plant. In order for you to say the plant tu hidup, you kena refer kepada 3 condition ini. Okay, so mereka still tak faham lagi. So I give them an example. Contoh dependent variable ialah performance. How do you say a company is doing well? How do you say a company is doing well? Okay, betul lah, performance dia bagus. Okay, but how do you define performance? Ada yang mengatakan bahawa if the profit of the company is lebih pada sekian, is doing well. Okay, if the sales of the company is banyak ni, is doing well. Okay, so performance ialah satu jenis, okay, variable or data yang boleh di-define oleh numbers. Okay, performance can be defined by numbers because you can say, macam contohnya kalau student performance is based on the CGPA, GPA. Kalau lebih pada 3.5, performance good. Performance is reduced kalau below 2.5. Okay, so in terms of example ini, untuk mengatakan bahawa pokok itu tumbuh, is based on 3 condition: the size, the number of leaves, and either living or dead. So this is the example lah. Okay, so another example sebelah sini ialah independent variable ialah amount of water. Okay, and the dependent is the height of the plant. So lagi banyak kita tuang air, lagi tinggi pokoknya. Lagi banyak kita tak fertilizer, lagi tinggi pokoknya. Okay. Right. So when we are doing descriptive analysis statistics for numerical data. So what is numerical data? Balik pada slide tadi. Numerical data ialah okay, here we are. Interval and ratio. What is interval and ratio? Interval and ratio. Here we go. Ratio is made up of numerical data. Ratio is numbers. Interval itu ialah demi interval lah, between 1 to 5. Those are intervals. Okay. So when we are looking at numerical data, we are looking at these examples. So in this example dalam slide ini, we are going to cover numerical data. Okay, so these are the measures of how, or these are the tests that you can do to determine when you have numerical data to do descriptive statistics. So you can do central tendency or disbursement spread. Show you how. Okay, let's say you collect this data on the earnings for the past 1 week from a small company. Okay, mungkin ini you ambil daripada satu cafe owner lah. Okay, so measures of standard deviancy are numbers that tend to cluster around the middle set of values, the mean, median, or the mode. Okay, So cafe ni on Monday he earns 350, on Tuesday he earns 150, on Wednesday he earns 100, Thursday he earns 350, Friday bila student tak ada he earns only $50. Okay, so this is your descriptive data that you have collected from the company. Okay, so the mean, kalau you buat central tendency, if you are doing the mean, dapat dia 200, median, kita cari jumlah di tengah, okay, and the mode is kekerapan lah, kekerapan. Okay, on the same data, if you're looking at how dispersed it is, so you tengok berapa banyak, how far is the numbers dispersed from the mean. The smaller the dispersion value, the more consistent the data. The larger disbursement value, the more spread out the data, and this means data is not consistent. Okay, that means what is mean not consistent? That means we can say that his earnings are not consistent. Okay, his earnings are not consistent. Sebab kita ambil mean dia. What is his mean? Mean is 200. So kalau sini we find out disbursement means how far is 350 from 200? How far is 150 from 200? How far is 100 from 200? How far is 350 from 200? How far is 50 from 200? Kalau semua jawapan itu closer to mean, okay, bermaksud that means his income is consistent. But if his income is large, the disbursement value is so big, jauh daripada his mean, then it's not consistent. That means susah nak determine profit dia. Sekejap dia untung, sekejap dia tak untung. Okay, so we can find out based on the range. Okay, we can find out the measurement of disbursement is based on the range. Highest score in disbursement description, minus a dose. That means you take the highest one and the lowest one. Or maybe you can get the quartile. Quartile means that means you do a range between the first quartile, second quartile. That means the first mungkin dalam minggu pertama berapa, minggu kedua berapa, minggu ketiga berapa, minggu keempat. Or maybe you can get the variance. Variance means the squared division scores about the mean distribution. Okay, variance means kita nak tahu dia punya based on the mean, what is his variance, meaning berapa banyak dia naik, berapa banyak dia turun. Okay, that is the mean distribution. That is the variance. Okay, another example. Range is the simplest measure of disbursement and obtained by taking difference between largest value and smallest value. Okay, so range ni kalau contohnya katakan area of land size A 3,000, land size B 4,900, land size C 6,900, and D 10,000. So you can get the range of the areas that you cover. Or if you want to go back to student, so you want to get the range of students yang menjawab soalan you, so you can take the highest age minus the lowest age, then you can get the range between what is the age range that you menjawab soalan you. Okay, so quartile tadi kita ambilkan based on segmentation lah. Okay, based on segmentation. First quartile tu berapa, second quartile tu berapa. Okay, so why do we need quartile data? Quartile data untuk menunjukkan there is a increase every week ke apa. So, contohnya kalau kita ambil data untuk setiap minggu, then we need to show that the numbers increase every 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Okay, so these are examples lah. Okay, some companies use the quartiles to benchmark other companies. Example, the median company salary for a given position is set at the first quartile of the top 20 companies in the region. So that means this company punya data ialah dalam kategori 20 syarikat. Okay, that means it's at the first quartile of the top 20 companies. So dia ambil data daripada top 20 companies and average gaji or median gaji syarikat dia berada dalam kategori ini. So that means it's okay lah. Okay, it's okay. Exemption, example number 1, again, new example. So company A, okay, so ada dua company, kita ambil set umur dia, ada 47, 38, 35, 47 lah. Okay. So the mean age workers in the same company is 40. Okay. By knowing the mean age, it can be deduced that the workers' age distribution is the same. Okay. Kedua-dua ni sama lah. However, the variation of workers' age is very different from two companies. Company B has larger variance than A. The larger variance. That means, okay, company B has larger. Sebab kita tengok, yang tua tu semakin tua, sangat tua. Yang mudanya sangat muda. So the variance is so big. Okay, so big. Right? As compared, tapi dua-dua ni mean diorang sama. Okay, the mean is the same. Okay, another one. CTX, bandar X ni, median, kita nak tahu dia punya family income. Okay, so dalam in bandar X ni is 25,000 and zero variation. As every family income is exactly 25,000. In bandar Y, okay, we have betul sama 25,000, tapi 95 of the families have income 12,000 per year and 5% income of 300,000 per year. Okay, so berdasarkan ini, we can say that perfect income quality equity in the CTX, tetapi great family income inequality in CTY. Okay, what does it mean here? Ya, faham tak? Kalau tak, okay, it's very simple je. In this scenario, CTX ni, it shows that if you have zero variation, it means everyone is earning almost the same. But walaupun mean and median kedua-dua bandar ini sama, tetapi 95% of them is having income 12,000 and ada lagi 5% yang dapat 300,000 per year. Okay. So walaupun sama, tetapi CTX ni dia punya distribution yang kaya sangat kaya, yang miskin sangat miskin. Macam itulah dia. So this is Jakarta lah. Kalau di Jakarta, you boleh tengok yang kaya sangat kaya, yang miskin sangat miskin. Okay. But in CTY ni, CTX ni, everyone is getting the same. So equal lah. Perfect. Family income dia perfect. Everyone is equal. But in CTX, CTY, okay, yang kaya sangat kaya, yang miskin sangat miskin. Walaupun mean and mediannya sama. Okay. So that's why we kata great family income inequality, tak sama. Alright, standard deviation based on the mean and gives the average distance. Okay, standard deviation ini ialah we get the mean and we want to find the distance between that number and the mean. Okay, so parents in class, so example, umur mak ayah dalam kelas ABC. So the standard deviation age is A is 3.3, 0.8 and 6.2. So kalau based on this, we can say that dalam kelas B, mak ayah punya umur ialah sama. Very similar. C sebab besar sangat, then it's very different. Okay, standard deviation ini ialah umur awak, okay, the average distance between is based on the mean and gives the average distance. That means, katakan dalam kelas itu umur 45, 50, 60, 70 gitu. So you find the mean dari purata dia and comparekan umur yang sedia ada dengan purata. So when you compare that, then you get the standard deviation. Okay. So dalam kelas kita pun selalu buat standard deviation dalam our bila kita buat laporan grade, kita ada standard deviation. So standard deviation yang lagi tinggi shows ada yang dapat A, ada yang dapat F. Okay. Ada yang pandai sangat, ada yang tak pandai sangat. Okay. So lagi kecil standard deviation tu is way much better. Okay. All right, so we go on to correlation. Okay, I think this is too much already. All right, I think I will stop here for now. Correlation semua, I will continue next week. Okay. Can we stop here or you nak continue juga? Boleh ke tanya soalan tu?
Boleh je stop doktor, up to you. Kita follow je.
Kita follow je ya. Okay. Okay, let's take another break lah. No, I think tak boleh. 9:45 already. I'm sure saya tengok Azira dah tengok kamera je. Dia tengok kamera tu maksudnya dia bukan tengok kamera, dia tengok menembusi kamera tu. I think we better. Correlation boleh, tak ada masalah pun. Tapi I think that's enough numbers for today. If we see more numbers, nanti awak akan pening. Okay. So we're going to stop now. Okay. So takeaway for today. What have we learned today? We have learned, start by the paling simple. We have learned about population. Okay. We have learned about sample. Okay. We have learned about descriptive. We have learned about inferential. Okay. So we have the population, we have the sample, we have the descriptive, we have the inferential. So these are the terms that you need to understand first. Okay. These are the terms that you need to understand. Very important. Then we go into categorical data tadi, continuous data. So these are another type of data yang you have to highlight. And then sorry, categorical data itu apa? Continuous data itu apa? So you need to understand that. Okay. Next, yang center tendency, all those yang tadi saya explain on this slide. Saya share je. Okay. This center tendency, dispersion, okay, do not worry. Okay, kalau you tak faham, it's not so much of a problem. Okay, why is it not much of a problem? Because these are terms. Okay, these are terms you just need to understand the basic idea. Bukannya saya katakan bahawa wajib bila you buat descriptive analysis, you need to do your center tendency. Dr. Imran kata kena buat mean, kena buat mode, kena buat median. No, it does not mean that. Okay, tidak bermaksud semua ini wajib dibuat. What you need to report in your research is what you want to report. Apa yang you perlu report? Okay, kebanyakan you don't report your median ke mode ke. Kalau you tak rasa tak perlu, tak payah buat. It's not a problem. But this is what can be done. Yang saya katakan di sini can be done, boleh dibuat, tapi tak semestinya perlu dibuat. Okay, because if your research ada kaitan dengan this one, then you report lah. Okay, contohnya kalau you're studying on if you're studying on PDPR and secondary school kids, then it's important lah to say jumlah student, the mean age, then it's very important. Because we are studying our student, kita tengah mengajar, our respondent are students, kita tak tahulah what is the age of the student, what is the gap. You tak nak lah your respondent, you dapat 500, tapi semua yang you dapat, semua budak form 1. You know that, we have to show. Sebab bila orang baca, oh betul lah, oh this is a very good study, dia ada budak-budak sekolah ni daripada form 1, ada form 2, ada form 3, ada form 4, ada form 5. Okay, so that is important lah, to show the mean, to show the average, to show the median. But if you're studying macam Elma buat tadi, facilities, tak perlulah tunjuk umur facility, umur campsite tu punya owner. That's not important. But maybe you need to show how long berapa lama campsite tu dah beroperasi. That is very important. But it is not important to show orang muda yang menjalankan itu, tak perlu. That is not important. Okay, let's say if you're looking at facility manager in satu syarikat, then it's important to show his years of experience, because that is a very betul lah. betul lah. Nak tunjuk yang the longer you have experience, the better lah. Okay. But that does not mean kita kena buat median untuk dia. Tak perlulah buat median umur perbezaan antara syarikat A dan syarikat B. Okay, that is not important. But if your research is looking at performance, if your research is looking on your type of respondent, then it's very important. Okay, so I will stop at correlation tadi. Okay, correlation, and then we will continue in the next class and sambung sedikit lagi on tadi univariate analysis pula. Okay. Bila saya tanya okey tu, jawapan balasnya kena cakap okey.
Okey, doktor. Maaf.
Okay. Doktor boleh share slide presentation, doktor?
Tak boleh. What? Sorry. Oh, nota ni. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah, I'll give it in the WhatsApp group.
Alright, thank you, doktor.
Thank you, doktor.
Alright.
Thank you, doktor.
Okay. So are you all okay? Syahda, okay?
Okay. Dia tak nampak lagi sebab tak buat kan. Cuma
But always remember, dalam statistik ni banyak sangat test. It is not important for you to do all tests. You kena pilih test yang betul-betul orang kata valid dengan your research. I'm sure you have heard of t-test ANOVA and benda-benda tu kan? Sure. Tapi tak semesti Elma kena buat. ANOVA tu mungkin Anas akan buat. So tak semestinya Lilis akan buat. Oh, kenapa I buat ANOVA, you tak buat? I lagi suka. No. It depends on your type of thing. Because ingat tadi slide tu yang mengatakan parametric, non-parametric. So that is also important. Ada test yang only relevant to that area saja. Okay. Ada test yang relevant to that area sahaja. Sekejap ada buku. Okay. As you go along, buku ni tak apalah. Mana? Okay. Tak payahlah. Satu hari nanti saya akan tunjuklah buku ni. Saya tak boleh unblurkan kamera ni sebab belakang ni kacil.
Doktor tangkap gambar, share kat WhatsApp.
Okay. Alright. Sebab nanti kalau saya unblur kan nampak tilam tu. Tak boleh. Tilam tu penuh dengan benda-benda merapu anak saya tu. So, tak boleh. Alright. Thank you so much for attending our class today. InsyaAllah, I will see you in the next class. Sign your attendance. Dan next class kita akan start pada correlation. So sorry, I have not forwarded the notes before. Saya akan forward sekarang juga dalam WhatsApp. Tolong ingatkan saya lah. Setiap kali nota tu ada dalam nota ni ada dalam U-Future. Tapi every time tu saya akan buat penambahan. Okay. So hari ni ada penambahan beberapa slide dalam tu lah. Okay. Alright, thank you so much. And I'll see you insyaAllah in the next class.
Okay. Thank you, doktor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Terima kasih banyak.
Terima kasih.